Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. As you can see, I'm not in my regular studio right now. I'm in an impromptu space, and well, let's just go into it right now. So we've got cramped quarters here, but today we're going to be reviewing this fine specimen of a older laptop. It's a WinBook Si, and it sports a 650 megahertz Pentium III processor, decent keyboard for its day, and a decent amount of RAM. It has, well, let's go over the specs really quick. It uses the Socket 370 chipset, and it can run up to a max of 700 megahertz Pentium III in these models. Originally, if you never heard of the WinBook Si, it was first manufactured for Micro Center by First International Computer, and it was rebranded a version of the FIC A430, and it was kind of like a desktop replacement style of that era, and it was manufactured first around April 2000. So that's the genre of computer testing and games we're going to test on it today. 440BX chipset, 12-inch display with 800 by 600 resolution, and a 14-inch version also sported 1024 by 768. It has PC100 RAM with 2 slots with a max of 512 meg of RAM, and it sported the ATI Rage Mobility M graphics with 4 meg of VRAM. Not 4 gig, 4 meg, that's what it had back then. So we're gonna have to set the color depth to 16-bit color instead of like 32-bit, because you'll double the memory consumption for your VRAM buffer from like 800 kilobits for the 16-bit to 1.9 for the 32. So that's half your VRAM buffer. And for context, this was budget friendly, but also a well-equipped laptop of the early 2000s. These laptops were highly tailored to the US market and branded OEM or ODM machines. So they are highly sought after by collectors. So if you've heard of this brand, or if you have one, comment below. Tell me your experience, tell me where you got it, tell me you're still rocking it, does it still work? I'm gonna go over the install of a period correct operating system, and we're going to be using Windows 2000 at the SP4 on it, the last SP that they had. And I'll give you a snippet of some of the games that I'm going to be testing on there and giving you a whole retro nostalgia look. This is Diablo 2 multi-game disc. Yes, this is my original copy. Red Alert 2, and you can play Allies or Axis. And that game's amazing back in the day. And also, one of the first games that got what I really loved was Unreal. This is my original disc as well. And if we got time, we're going to get into some StarCraft. Mainly, we're going to stick around the 99 to 2003 era games and see what we can play on this bad boy, shall we? We'll go over the brief loading of Windows 2000, go over the specs, how much RAM we have in there. And we'll get into testing. This is a journey back in time in the year 2000. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it, shall we? Come on, let's go! Yeah, it does take a bit of time to do this, especially on a spinning Rust hard drive, you know? And yeah. But the real thing is, it's kind of period specific to this machine, and the WinBook Si was kind of a generic kind of laptop value kind of segment. Places like Circuit City, I think, sold them. Maybe even like a Office Depot maybe. So I'm interested to see how this runs and what is actually going to get pre-installed with this, is what it detects. Go ahead and take a look at system. I'll say that we have now Windows 2000 Service Pack 4, 523 meg of RAM. It wouldn't really like behoove me to try Windows XP on this, but you know, Service Pack 4 is a little bit pushing it, but that's the final one. The final one that it came with. So let's see what Device Manager picked up for all of our stuff. And we've got the ATI Rage Mobility AGP2X driver. I don't think we're going to do too much better than that, but we might need some DirectX installed as well. Play some games. Sometimes these older games that we're going to test today came with it. Sometimes they didn't. And the installation took 1.3 gig, 5-ish something gig, almost 6 gig. So yeah, we got plenty of room for some games. Having only a 4 meg frame buffer for this GPU, we're going to switch to high color 16-bit with 800 by 600. The max this monitor can go. It should be fine, but instead of 1.8 meg of our frame buffer, we can now do, just takes under a meg at 800 kilobits. You won't really notice much of a difference either. You all might recognize this game. So yeah, Unreal is one of the first games that I played that I really loved, aside from Quake. But I like the game overall. So DirectX 5 comes on the disc like some of the older games do back in the day, and it's just because most people had dial-up and it took forever to download the DirectX engine if you didn't have it. So that's why it pays to save your discs, especially for retro stuff. It's not playing horribly for this system. It's playing right smooth, but the problem is the controls, the keyboard, you know. Why am I floating down? I killed somebody. It must be a miracle. It'll never happen again in the lifetime of this whole game. Basically, you're just go with this game, you know? He who builds the most, the fastest, wins. But you need resources, so you gotta keep making chrono tanks. It's one of my all-time favorite games, obviously. And then you run out of funds. Prism towers are the best ever. You can just like freaking like a laser fence, you know? How will I ever find my way back? In order to raise a zombie or a skeleton, you physically have to have an enemy you killed, and then you can raise it from there. I've reached the end of the road. Ooh, a crude club. High likely. Oh, the days. Oh, the glory days. This was peak gaming back in the day, believe it or not. I mean, this was an amazing game. So, it says you should complete the quest, but obviously, you know, when you're clueless like me and you're just adventuring around, what does it matter? So my final thoughts for this WinBook Si 650 megahertz Pentium III laptop. Well, honestly, you know, if you look at these games from a nostalgia aspect, as if having played them yourself, it's a fun trip to the past. And it's also, it's a fun thing to be able to play these games in the true format, hardware that you had back in the day. It brings back a lot of fond memories. These games by themselves aren't up to 2026 standards, of course, but that's, you know, it's 26 years ago, and that's what we had, and they were pretty cool back then. So the only thing that I could wish for this laptop would be that it had more RAM on the GPU. This being a mobility version, it only had 4 meg versus the usual 8. So if it had the 8 meg, you had more room for a little bit higher resolutions and 32-bit depth color. But other than that, you know, this is how we played it back then. We tweak things, we lower the resolutions. You just want to be able to play your game, and that's the whole gist of this video. Taking a step back in time, nostalgic aspect, retro fun. The system running Windows 2000's SP4, I thought it would be slower, but the thing is snappy. And I think that the laptop drive, the hard drive, had been replaced with a newer one back in the day, because I mean, it almost is like, seems like it's a 7200 RPM, but I know it, I'm pretty sure it's not at 3.5 inch, because that would mean taking like literally half of this laptop space with a hard drive, and I don't think that's the case. Again, it was snappy. Windows 2000 SP4. You could put 98 SE. You could put XP on there. XP's heavier, but it does have the RAM. They just don't have the video memory for all those whistles and bells and whistles. So if you still are rocking or a laptop of this nature this genre, this era, and you're still used to play retro games, comment below. I'd love to hear what you're rocking, and or if you're planning on picking something up like this and, you know, making a 98 SE retro machine, you know, comment below. I'd like to hear your plans and see what you're rocking, what you got for hardware going on. And I'm happy this system of mine is still running great. So thanks for coming with me on this nostalgic trip back in time, and thanks for watching. Remember this tech.